Hello everyone, my name is David Bürgin and in this video I will be discussing a study I conducted alongside David Bürgin on increasing consumers' purchase intentions toward fair trade products through partitioned pricing. Imagine you want to purchase some chocolate. You usually keep a dark chocolate bar in your cupboard for when you are craving something sweet. Among the options at the supermarket which you consider purchasing are 1. A bar of conventional chocolate priced at $2.49 and 2. A bar of fair trade chocolate that costs $2.99. Which would you choose? You claim to be someone who truly cares about ethical consumption, so would you pay the extra 50 cents for the fair trade option? Fair trade is a way of buying and selling products that aims to promote societal well-being by paying people a fair price for the goods they produce. Trade is unfair when big corporations make lots of money from selling goods that were produced by people who receive incredibly low wages or endure poor working conditions. And while people report caring about ethical consumption, research has revealed an attitude-behavior gap among consumers. Their alleged values are often not reflected in their purchase decisions, likely because fair trade products are often more expensive than conventional ones. Previous studies have failed to offer strategies that help mitigate the negative effects of higher fair trade prices. In our study, we postulate that this attitude-behavior gap can be reduced through partitioned pricing, where we make the fair trade price component explicit. You may be wondering, what is partitioned pricing? Partitioned pricing is a strategy that consists of splitting the total price of an offering into mandatory price components. When consumers can see exactly what they are being charged for, this can help communicate the overlooked benefits of the product, justify the price difference, increase the perception of price transparency, and thus generate higher purchase intentions. On the other hand, the more traditional alternative, called combined pricing, simply lists a product's total price, which can lead consumers to perceive it as solely more expensive without taking into account the valuable product attributes. That was the situation in our little story at the beginning. So, let's move on to some more details of our research. We established 4 hypotheses, which I'll refer to as H1, H2, H3, and H4. This figure illustrates an overview of our research model and the corresponding hypotheses. H1 states that the purchase intention for a fair trade product compared to a traditional alternative is higher with partitioned pricing than with combined pricing. H2 suggests that this increased purchase intention is due to the fact that partitioned pricing leads to higher perceptions of fairness. With H3, we posit that this perceived fairness is in turn due to the higher perceived transparency of partitioned pricing. Finally, H4 assumes that transparency is a stronger mediator of purchase intention than recalled prices. We conducted 4 studies, 3 online and 1 lab study. Because of presumed differences in the prevalence of acceptance of fair trade products across different geographical regions, participants in studies 2, 3 and 4 were European, while those who participated in study number 1 were American. The participants were asked to examine a pair of products closely, a fair trade option and its conventional alternative. The key variables we measured in line with the hypotheses were transparency, fairness, purchase intention, and recalled prices. In each of our studies, we varied the presentation of the price formats. For example, this image illustrates what participants encountered in study number 1, where only the fair trade logo differentiated the fair trade product from the conventional one. On the other hand, the products in study 3 included the fair trade sticker plus a justification of the fair trade price component that stated fair wages paid to farmers in developing countries. In study number 2, we decided to go in a different direction and, as you can see, varied the price format for both the fair trade and conventional products. In order to implement partitioned pricing for the conventional product, we used tax as a substitute for the fair trade component. Finally, in study number 4, participants' decisions culminated in a real-life transaction, or lack thereof, which added some realism to our research. Now, let's jump to a synthesis of the empirical results. Our results support the various hypotheses. They show that offering fair trade products under partition pricing rather than combined pricing increases consumers' purchase intentions of the fair trade product over the conventional product. An exciting detail is that this effect remains stable across multiple settings and conditions, across age, gender, country, and income groups, independent of the price format of the alternative product and independent of the consumer's varying degrees of fair trade knowledge, attitude, and purchase frequency. This means that the positive impact of partition pricing to promote fair trade products is quite universal. The only boundary we encountered is that the price difference between the fair trade product and the conventional product should not be too high. Study 4 revealed that with higher price differences, partition pricing does not increase the choice rate of the fair trade product. In contrast, with a low price difference, like in bananas, for example, where the fair trade kind are usually only about 9% more expensive than the alternative, partition pricing increased the choice rate of the fair trade product by 20%. So, what are the managerial implications of our findings? Well, Fairtrade International determines the price differences for raw materials globally. If companies communicate the price difference by using partition pricing to highlight the fair trade price component, purchases can increase significantly. This is a simple method for pointing out the often overlooked benefits of a product. It is a very cost and time efficient marketing mix measure that can help reduce the attitude-behavior gap. Additionally, partition pricing can be an alternative to price promotions for retailers. If they can nudge customers towards more ethical consumption habits, this can in turn help improve the perception of the company. Finally, since, as I mentioned before, the effectiveness of partition pricing holds true across customer segments, there is no need for companies to differentiate their pricing tactic. The partition pricing strategy will be beneficial regardless of which customer is being targeted. If you would like to read the complete research paper, I have included the link in the description below. You can also access our research I've collaborated in through that same link. Thank you for watching.